In this video, I'm going to show you how to edit your first photo. To get started, make sure you have a photo selected that you want to edit, and then just head into the Edit module. You can either do that by clicking on this icon here, or you can just hit D on your keyboard. But before we start editing this photo, I want to talk a little bit about non-destructive editing. And non-destructive editing simply means that you can modify a photo by putting adjustments on it, using different settings, adding effects, local adjustments, whatever it may be, without destructing or modifying that original photo file. So all of the adjustments that we make from here on out are all going to be non-destructive edits. This allows us to re-edit any of those adjustments at any time without modifying the original photo files. With that being said, let's get into editing this photo. Let's start with this left toolbar over here. This is going to give us different tools we can use to modify and adjust our photo. For example, say we want to crop our photo. We can simply head up to Crop, click on it. You'll notice that it applied a crop grid around our photo. And also this top bar here has different options we can use to modify the crop. This tool options bar up here is going to be applied whenever you select any of these tools in this tool area. If I want to modify different crop ratios or modify the width and height, I can even use this leveling tool to level my photo or rotate my photo. All of these different options are used to modify the crop tool. I just want to hold down Shift and pull in my crop a little bit to remove any excess foreground and background. Once I have it the way I want it, I can simply hit Enter and it'll apply that crop to my photo. Let's move on to this right panel over here. This is where we're going to be doing the bulk of our editing. Up top here we have this Navigator tab selected. This Navigator tab is basically the same thing as our View tool up here. So we have Fit, 100, 50, 25. This just allows us to zoom in and out of our image as well as to pan around it. So if I want to zoom into 100%, I can either use this bar up here or I can use this bar over here and click 100. And now I can pan around my photo, or I can use this bar to pan around my photo. Once I want to zoom out, I can simply click Fit. You also have your Levels tab, which you can learn more about in the user guide, and then your Info tab, which gives you information about your camera and the photo itself. Below that we have Layers, which is going to give us all of the layers on our photo. And then we have these four tabs, which are our Develop, Effects, Portrait, and Local. Inside your Develop tab, you're going to be modifying your basic tonality and color for the photo. So let's start adjusting this photo a little bit. I'm just going to head down to my tone and color. I'm going to modify the exposure maybe a little bit, pull up on the contrast. Let's boost our shadows to kind of reveal some darker tones. Then let's add a little bit of structure for some detail, and then we'll just heat the photo up a little bit. Now we've applied non-destructive settings to this photo. Now if we want to see our original photo and compare it against our modifications, we can just simply hit the backslash key on our keyboard and it'll show us our original photo. Inside of Develop, we also have these three panes at the bottom here. We have Details, which will allow us to modify our sharpening and noise reduction. We have Lens Correction, which will automatically apply lens correction to our photo. And then we have Transform, which we can use to scale and modify the crop of our shot. So inside of Develop, you're going to be dealing with basic things on your photo, like tone and color, sharpening, lens correction, maybe some transform adjustments. But if you really want to start getting creative with your photo, let's head into Effects, where we can start adding different filters. If you want to add a filter, simply Add Filter, and it'll pull up this window where it'll give you all of the filters that you can choose from. If you hover over a filter, it will show you the before and after, as well as a description of what that filter does. If you want to search for different filters using keywords, you can do that as well. Let's say I want to add some detail to my photo. I can just search Detail, and it will pull up all of the filters that will apply detail to my photo. So now I know I want to add a dynamic contrast filter. I can just click on it, and it will apply it to my photo. Now I can toggle it on and off using this button here, so I can see what it does when it's applied to my shot. Let's add one more filter onto our photo, and let's add a vignette. And the great thing about these filters is that you have these controls in here that you can use to modify the look of the filter, or you can use one of these preset styles here that will modify the look for you. Let's use Big Softy. I like how that looks, but it's a little too strong on my photo. So I can go down into these controls and I can adjust the size so that it's not too strong on my shot. Now that we've developed our basic tone and color and added some filters inside of effects, I like the way the photo's looking, but I wish there was a little more color kind of bouncing off these rocks in here. This sounds like a job for our local adjustments. So let's head into our local adjustments tab here. Local adjustment layers allow you to apply modifications and adjustments to specific areas on your photo. For example, I wanted to apply some color to this area around the rocks, but I don't want it applied anywhere else on the photo. So I'll simply go in to the preset styles here. I'll select Vibrance. I'll head down to my saturation slider and pull that up as well. And now I can just paint this local adjustment layer in and add some color around my rocks. Now if I turn this on and off, you'll see it applies a nice amount of color without modifying any of the other areas on my photo. Now let's see what we created with all of these different adjustments applied. That's how you edit your first photo inside ON1 Photo Raw 2019.